Hi everyone, welcome back to Sketch Lab for Kids. Today, we're diving into the colorful world of Yayoi Kusama with a fun and creative scratch art pumpkin project. We'll be using neon oil pastels, tempera paint sticks, and a monochromatic background to bring Kusama's iconic polka-dot style to life. Let's go ahead and get started. So we are going to be using construction lines, so I want you guys to lightly draw these shapes. So we're going to start off in creating the center section of the pumpkin. So I'm going to create 2 dots. I want to leave some space at the top for the stem, and I'm going to make a dot closer to the bottom of the paper. Now I'm going to go ahead and just curve a line to the left, and I'm going to curve a line to the right, making a large oval. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and make the next section of the pumpkin a little bit shorter. So I make my 2 dots, and once again curve a line to the left, and then curve a line to the right. I'm going to make one more section to my pumpkin on the right hand side, so these 2 dots once again are going to be a little bit closer together. Curve a line to the left, and curve a line to the right. And we're going to do the same thing on the left hand side. So as I said, we're going to have some construction lines today. That means we are going to be erasing some of these lines. And I'm going to go ahead with the Sharpie marker here in a second and show you which lines I want you to keep. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and outline the top of the pumpkin. And we're also going to start to outline the bottom of the pumpkin. Okay, let's go ahead and finish off the sides on the left and right. And now I'm going to outline the center section of this pumpkin. So the way we drew this pumpkin is we've actually created overlapping, because we have these sections that are overlapping. So this section is larger and it's in front of this section. So we're going to curve a line to the left on the left hand side, and on the right hand side you can see we're going to curve a line to the right. These are called cross contour lines, and that also makes this pumpkin appear to be more 3-dimensional. And now I want you guys to create an organic looking stem. Maybe I'll add a few lines. Okay, we're going to get ready to color now. So I have these neon oil pastels I'll be using today. And I want you to color each section of the pumpkins different. And we can do that a couple different ways. One is we can make a pattern. So as you know, patterns are created in art by using lines, shapes, and colors. And we use repetition, so we can repeat, for instance, lines. So maybe I'll do repetition of these lines here, wavy lines. And then once I create these little wavy lines, maybe I'll go back and start creating a pattern with color. I think I'm going to do a 3-color pattern on this one. So very important, because we are going to be scratch arting today. You need to make sure that you color in nice and solid. You do not want to see the white of your paper. Why? Because the tempera paint sticks will stick to the paper and it will not scratch off. So now moving into my second color here of my pattern. And I'm going to go ahead and just time lapse this so you can just catch the pattern real quick. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and use the coloring rule of thirds. So, did you guys know colors have value? Yeah. Like on this example here, like pink is lighter, red's darker, maroon's the darkest. So, I'm going to go ahead and pick 3 colors that are next door neighbors on the color wheels. So, I'm going to start off with, I'm going to go yellow-green to blue-green to blue. And I'm going to be using the darkest color first today. So I'm actually going to use the coloring rule of thirds in reverse. I'm going to show you guys how to use an overlaying technique. Overlaying technique is how we can use these oil pastels to mix, color mix. So I'm going to start off with my darkest color first. You can see my brush strokes are just going straight up and down. And now I'm going to switch to my second value, my second color, here in a second with my blue-green. So that's about 1/3. And I'm going to go halfway over. So you can see how I'm going halfway over the blue, and by stroking my oil pastel back and forth, that's how I'm actually color mixing right on the canvas today, right on the paper. So I'm going to go ahead with the yellow-green now and go halfway over my blue-green. So I want you to have some fun with some patterns and some color gradations. And like I said, just make each section of the pumpkin a little bit different. I'm actually incorporating a pattern today on the sections of my pumpkin. So it's going to go warm, cool, warm, cool, warm. The main thing is just add lots of color. Scratch art looks a lot better when you have all these different colors. And it makes it more satisfying. So for art teachers, you can buy the 12 packs of these Kwik sticks in different colors, which is fantastic. I think I got mine from Blick Art Supplies. And for scratch sticks, obviously you could use toothpicks, wooden styluses, but I like these dotting tools. And look at this one, kids love this. You just twist it and the kids hypnotize themselves. Alright. And the cool thing about these is they don't tear through the paper, they never dull. And this is the circle template I'm using, and I got this off of Amazon. So today, we're going to be using polka dots, and that's a key characteristic of Yayoi Kusama and her artwork. And one of the principles of design that we're going to be using today is repetition. She used repetition of polka dots in her artwork. So when you add this black Kwik stick, I just want you to do one section of the pumpkin at a time. Couple reasons. Number one is we want to scratch art while the Kwik stick is still wet. Once the Kwik stick completely dries, it starts to scratch off more like a film, more like a skin. It's like peeling skin. So just do one section at a time. And then the second reason is if you cover up the whole pumpkin, then you might not be able to tell which section is which. And Yayoi Kusama, oftentimes she used maybe polka dots right down the center of these little sections, and then she would do maybe smaller polka dots on the left hand right hand side of each section of the pumpkin. So I did the large circles down the center, and now I'm going to choose a smaller circle. So these circles are going to be polka dots. They're going to be called the positive shape, and the area around it is called the negative space. We're going to be scratch arting the negative space. By removing the negative space, we're going to reveal these wonderful black polka dots. That's a key characteristic of Kusama's artwork. So take your time. We do not want to scratch inside of the circles. Also, you notice I did not overlap my circles. If you start overlapping your circles, then you're basically combining two polka dots together. So we want each polka dot to have space around it. I'm just going to time lapse this. And this is what we're going for. And so you can see that's why we're doing one section at a time, because it takes time to do each section. Now on this one, I'm going to go big circles on the left, small circles on the right. And as I go to this smaller section, I'm going to use a little bit smaller of a circle on the left, smaller circles on the right. And this is so satisfying. And like I said, this is, I think, the best scratch paper. It works beautifully. All you have to do is your job, making sure you get those oil pastels down properly where you can't see the white of the paper. And it's the smoothest scratch art surface around. And you don't have to paint it with acrylic paint and then wait for it to dry and add soap, and then sometimes it scratches off good in spots and then sometimes it doesn't. And there you have it. Look at that beautiful pumpkin. And I love these neon oil pastels. Love bright colors. And as you know, it's really all about colors, right? You can have a great art lesson, but if the colors fall flat, it just feels a little bit like, oh man. So the pigments, the colors are everything, and these neon oil pastels are actually pretty cheap. So you can actually get 6 boxes, I think, of these for like $30, which is not bad. So when I cut, I'm right-handed, so my right hand just opens and closes these scissors, and my left hand holds and turns the paper. If you try to do everything with your cutting hand, it's going to hurt. So use your left hand to turn the paper, and then the right hand can just open and close the scissors. And then sometimes when we're done cutting, we want to check and make sure that we've cut off all the white edges. That will make it look unfinished. So once you're done cutting, check your edges. And like I said, go back if you need to and cut off any little white spots off the edge. So for the background, we're going to use a monochromatic color scheme. I'm using purple today. And I'm going to go darker at the bottom. And at the top, I'm going to go a little bit lighter. So I'm adding some white. So monochromatic is a range of value of one color. So I'm using darker to lighter purple. And then I'm going to add some white here to create a moon. So when I do the moon here, I want to keep these lines. It's kind of like Starry Night, right? Kind of create a little spiral in the sky. I don't want to over mix this because then it's just going to turn into a dot. I want to be able to see all those lines, kind of like Starry Night. So it's kind of like we created a little bit of a nighttime sky. So one thing you can do is if your paint is still wet, it has not dried, you can just stick your pumpkin right on top and it's going to stick to it as if you use glue. You just need to be careful not to stick your fingers in the paint and get it onto your pumpkin. Look at the contrast there. Wow. That's so cool. Well, we definitely brought Kusama's bold and colorful style to life, experimenting with neon oil pastels and scratch art techniques. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Keep creating and stay inspired.